Allow me. Oh, this chesty cough. Whatever your cough is saying, Benelin instantly.
Nobody got any lobbies up.
Allow me. Oh, this chesty cough. Whatever your cough is saying, Benylin instantly coats your throat and the soothing syrup gets to work on clearing your chest for...
I'm not allowed to reveal the secrets of Jameson Black Barrel. It's carefully chosen, select batch. Irish whiskies, or its exquisite notes of toasted oak, caramel, and vanilla spice. It's the greatest whiskey I ever drank, and the greatest story I never did tell.
If you think you have a lead, finish the job. They're coming for you. It doesn't need to end this way.
It does.
But on this calm skin, glossed up lips glistening, face card, give me 10 out of 10. Control, baby, I don't want you, man. I'm tryna keep it, cause he's tryna shoot a shot. Think I'm pulling from love, don't let it go too far, not now. Only thing I use him for if he was breaking pockets. If he's tryna fly me out, well, it's a process. On the bus when I touch down, and it's all 30 and just around. Pardon me if I act up tonight. What can he see? You wanna eat me like an edible? I got needs, and by every song get comfortable. Show you things you never seen, you think I see you. And I got way too many options. Ain't even gotta do no talk. Say it's the walk for me. You've been cocky to me. You trust the
With an Intel AI PC, AI Assistance helps you save time. With AI-powered text-to-image tools, you can unleash your creativity with fewer clicks. Or let AI draft your emails. It's possible on an Intel AI PC. Additional purchase may be required. Learn more at intel.co.uk/AIPC.
I got that effect on you. Don't need no filters. Swim my way, also make it figures. Been on type of way, but the mother bitches. I got that effect on you. Something you might not be used to. I'm gonna show you that new. Got you connected like Bluetooth. Put a spin on you like voodoo. You made it me, you come right back. Can't let me go 'cause you like that. I can change your life, so get ready, yeah. I'ma put you on. I'ma serve you out. I'ma mess you up. I'ma hold you down. I'ma wake you up. Show you what's up. I'ma put you on a Sunday, baby. 'Cause you don't know my love. Oh, yeah. 'Cause you don't know my love. Baby, don't worry about nothing, you're with me. I won't pay no mind about nobody around you. You next to me. Put your drink up. Everybody up around here looking at us. They're looking at me with the vibes that you get to touch all night. That's right. I might be something you might not be used to. I'm gonna show you that new. Got you connected like Bluetooth. Put a spin on you like voodoo. You made it me, you come right back. Can't let me go 'cause you like that. I can change your life, so get ready, yeah. I'ma
My inspiration, it always is looking at the dark. Gemini in Google Workspace makes you smarter, makes you more productive, allows you to communicate better. That full level integration with Gemini in Google Workspace, that's a game changer.
You're too close to me. So close I can hardly breathe. I won't be afraid. You're suffocating me. Slow down. Suffocating me. And I won't be afraid. You're suffocating me. Slow down. Suffocating me. I can hardly breathe. You got to slow down, 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 down. You got to slow down.
Reach up to the sky above higher, like you can't get enough. Reach up, push the feeling higher, and then you bring it back. Reach up to the sky above higher, like you can't get enough. Reach up, push the feeling higher, and then you bring it back. And then you bring it back.
And what he's done to the black population is horrible, including the fact that for 10 years he called them super predators. We can't, in the 1990s, we can't forget that. Super predators was his name, and he called it those, and they've taken great offense at it. And now they see it happening.
The new Kenko Millicano Cadbury Mocha. Rich and creamy coffee that's indulgently chocolatey in an instant.
Who's gonna catch me? Who's gonna catch me? I didn't want me. Just not here. I didn't want me. Who's gonna catch me? I didn't want me. Just not here.
If it starts to get you down, just call me up. In the dark before the dawn, I'll be the light. Just consist of my devotion, be a river to your ocean if you let me. Give up all your doubt, hold your head up to the sky, it's alright. Just call me up.
Was this your intention? It's just you and me.
That was 97. That was 97. That was 97. That was 97.
Get it with it together when I jump. Get it with it together when I jump. Like white and along like you now. And some of my lyrical tongue me your medicine. Get it with it together when I jump. Get it with it together when I jump. Like white and along like you now. And some of my lyrical tongue me your medicine. Feel a bad girl bass. Feel a bad girl bass injection. Listen to it with a boom selection. This one psychotic, it should be section. It's strange insane with a tune of pain. Excuse while I get it through your brain. Let the bass vibrate and bass it can vibrate, bringing out what's my name. If it did the dynamite, we together, seafood and my life. And I'm sure, you know you wait. We got shot, get pop by spread. Now they do something that everybody should make the come and run a cup and sentence. I'm sure, you know you wait. We got shot, get pop by spread. Now they do something that everybody should make the come and run a cup and sentence. Just you up, you don't post, don't you? Yes, I'm still. I'm a lady with a body. Because it's not about the ambition, and it's not about the bad man. Someone we worry, no one don't want you. You can get some up on natural high. It's not about the attitude, not about the best side. No matter who you are, what you do. I know I'm everybody just made the gum and I run a cup and dance. They want shout, ooh, you know you it. Lyrical shot, get popped by spread. Got to do something that everybody just made the gum and I run a cup and dance. I mean, I care where you're craving, no dogs allowed, you know, the race, so certain brothers must behave, and boy, please stop the sugaries, I watch her grabbing breast and body, and wonder why she likes when it's so grabby, tell him flee, respect disrespectfully, tell him flee, oh, some guys think them too nice, sister, I'm in the place, let my baby cry, don't fuck, but them a cold like I try to watch me about as scary as mine, man, you know, they make it never too wrong, but they wanna get it, they do no, and I'm like, sure, cause them love, nothing the rest, but I'm not wrong, and never so cool, you know you wait, because I get up my spread. Now they do something that everybody can make the come and run a cup and sentence. They want show who, you know you wait. Because I get up my spread. Now they do something that everybody can make the come and run a cup and sentence. Something that everybody can make the come and run a cup and sentence. And they want show who, you know you wait. Because I get up my spread. Now they do something that everybody can make the come and run a cup and sentence. They want show who, you know you wait. Because I get up my spread. Now they do something that everybody can make the come and run a cup and sentence. And they want show who, get up, who, you know you wait, who, get up, who, get it with a who, get up, who, you know you wait, who, get up, who, get it with a who, you know you wait. Because I get up my spread. They want show who, you know you Show me your intentions. Come on, don't hesitate, hesitate, and show me what you're feeling. Show me your intentions. Show me your
Players talk the talk, but they can't walk it. Get it, baby, get. Minus 5, baby, who that is? Get it, baby, get. Players talk the talk, but they can't walk it. Get it, baby, get. Need love, love. Oh, baby, can it be? Oh, baby, can it be? Players talk the talk, but they can't walk it. Get it, baby, get. Minus 5, baby, who that is? Get it, baby, get. Players talk the talk, but they can't walk it. Get it, baby, get. Need love, love. Oh, baby, can it be? Oh, baby, can it Looking at my rollie, it's about that time. 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 Looking at my rollie, looking at my rollie, looking at my rollie, it's about that time. 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 Looking at my rollie, looking at my rollie, looking at my
it actually is difficult to navigate the present. So there are people, you can go to them and say, September 17th, 2013, 5 a.m. And they will literally tell you exactly what they were doing.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah,
they call them savants.
Right, they call
idiot savant was like a term that they would use.
Yeah.
Like they were terrible at a lot of things, but very good at that one.
This guy doesn't seem smart in any respect.
Well, if he was valedictorian, he must have had memorization capability. And the way that murder was carried out was like very methodical. But then he's found with the IDs.
Yeah, not very smart.
That's not smart.
Unless, as some people are speculating, he was intending to get caught so that he could have these lived experience outbursts with the police.
Right. The way he screamed and get the experience, I was like, that's the guy. But
I actually was thinking this. Why was he sitting in McDonald's with a backpack full of all this stuff, right? After the killing, there was a debate in the media as to whether or not it was a lover's tryst or related to ransomware or ideological. We don't know. And so if this dude, he's accused, he's not confirmed, but if he's ideologically driven, he's going, no, 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 it should be obvious. It should be obvious why I did it. So he knew he had to get caught so that he could make sure the narrative was his political ideology.
I think that's true. Even if it was a subconscious, but I think so. I think that's literally, he wanted this narrative to get pushed.
Well, didn't he live in, when was the last place that we know that he lived? I thought it was in Honolulu, right? So, I mean, look, it's not easy to get to Hawaii. You need to get on a plane, and once, the pictures got out, it was unlikely that he would be able to make it through an airport, considering he got ID'd in a McDonald's. So maybe he didn't have anywhere to go.
You see those pictures from McDonald's, though? He was wearing an orange beanie and a black poofy jacket. And I got to be honest, I see a bunch of people on X saying, how did anyone recognize him as the shooter? That's
eyebrows.
But he was wearing a brown beanie. He was wearing totally different clothes. And there's a photo of him from, decently close to him. And it's like, did someone walk up to him and snap a picture and call the cops?
I don't know. I'm always amazed in these situations when people in the common world, in the real world, identify these people, because even if I recognize someone or think I do, I'm still going to be like, I'm probably wrong. But there are people who they see someone and they're like, I think that's the guy. I don't know.
Well, I will go ahead. I will add, a lot of people come up to me and say, you look like this guy Tim Pool.
Yeah.
they don't just say, hey, I'm a big fan. They say, you look like this guy.
Yeah, that happened to me a couple weeks ago.
Right,
you look like that guy on Timcast. That guy on
I would just assume that I'm getting it wrong, right? And so it's interesting to me how some people actually are just so sure. I recognize that guy.
Maybe it's this simple. We didn't hear all of the stories where the tips failed. Right? So for all we know, in Westchester, PA, somebody called the cops saying, I think I found the guy. And there's local cops not doing anything. And they say, we'll drive down and take a look. They drive up, and they see some random guy, and they go, that's just a random guy. If that happens 10,000 times, no one's going to hear about it. But the one time it does, they got him.
Yeah, right. This guy has this stark face, too. He has got a really, really kind of a standout face. If he didn't want to get caught, he should have shaved his eyebrows, I guess, in retrospect.
I mean, the eyebrows were definitely a distinguishing feature on him, or a distinctive feature. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not the kind of person that sits there and is looking around. Who's this guy? Who's that? This, that, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So I probably wouldn't have been like, yo, that's the dude. Because, again, thick eyebrows is real tough to be like, that's the guy,
I wonder why it is we found out this guy's literal life story. We know about every drug he's taken, every book he's read, his opinions on the Unabomber, and we've learned nothing of Trump's assassin.
Attempted assassin.
Right.
Failed assassin.
Failed assassin.
We're talking about Thomas Crooks.
Nobody knows anything about him. He just showed up one day and slipped through like a oily snake. Made it to the top of that building that nobody was on top of for some reason. And this guy, it's like within a couple of days, it's like we can tell you how many zits he's had.
Yeah, this is like that underwater submersible implosion taking the world's attention by storm, where everyone's interested in finding this. What drugs has he taken?
Was that guy Stockton Rush? Was that his name?
I don't know. The owner of the submersible.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't really think that it's a conspiracy in this case, though, right? With this.
No.
You think it's yeah.
I mean,
but I understand the frustration that people feel about the way that the Trump assassination attempt just sort of slipped away.
Oh, and Secret Service.
No. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying there's a conspiracy to cover anything up. I don't know. I certainly think the official narrative on the Trump assassination is complete nonsense.
Attempted assassination.
Sorry.
Must manifest that the attempt failed.
It failed. But there's a lot of people who are saying this is a psyop, because when they first released the person of interest photos, I'm like, that's not the same guy. You look at the picture of the video of the assassination of the CEO. That was weird. The picture of the CEO, and it looks like a guy has a little heavier set, and he seems to have thinner eyebrows and appears to be older, but who knows?
Because the camera was above. I heard you say that, and it did make sense. He did look heavier, but it might have been the angle of the camera pointing
There's
down
two
at
different camera angles. And his jacket could be poofy because he's wearing a sweater. Who knows?
He had a bunch of gear on him.
He could have had two jackets on because he wanted to pull one off and throw it away.
I wouldn't read too much into that. Yeah. But
so that's why I'm saying, at the time, I thought when they said, here's a photo of a person of interest, everybody said, that's the shooter. And I'm like, hold on there. This has happened before. where people rush to accuse a person of interest of being the shooter or the bomber. And I'm not going to name the specific instance, but 10 years ago, there was a very, very serious incident where the wrong person was ID'd, and it caused a lot of problems. And I'm like, a person of interest could be a guy they saw on camera, give him a high five. And they're like, how does that person know him? We want to talk to him. Right. But everybody just said it was the shooter. Well, now they're saying it was. So.
And I think you mentioned that the healthcare industry, the whole system is kind of busted up. Like the whole pharmaceutical industry, the food and drug, but the way that they'll create, toxic chemicals in the food supply that will then poison people, and then they feed them medicine, and they profit off of both arms. Like I don't think there's a silver bullet. I don't think that there is an immediate drastic solution like what this guy thought that ending, if this was the guy, killing a CEO is going to solve anything. That's why I support RFK in positions of power in the government, because I think it's we got into this in a long, slow way, and it's going to be a long, slow path out. I heard they're going to maybe ban Red 40 out of the Red 3, one of the red azo dyes out of the food supply, which is like, hey man, that's a step.
Honestly, I think the fastest way to do it is to limit the government's ability, or to limit the government's involvement. If you put healthcare, not health insurance, but if you put care on the market, if they said that the hospitals and doctors, they have to put their prices, make their prices available for people to look at, and make it possible for you to go from one doctor to another doctor and try out, see, hey, this doctor will do the procedure I want for cheaper. Unless you're dealing with something that's really, really bad or like specialized, like cancer, when it comes to broken legs or broken bones, or if you need antibiotics because you got an infection, or you got a cut that's infected or whatever. If you put that stuff on the market, you'll see the price of healthcare, that kind of healthcare, go down significantly, really, really, really fast. But the fact of the matter, and you should not need insurance because you broke a bone.
Well, I think one of the things that we could do a better job of really trying to foreground for people is just the sheer, massive, unnecessary amount of bureaucracy involved now. And for instance, I know doctors who've been in the industry for decades, and they're counseling people, don't get into this industry because you're going to spend 90% of your time doing paperwork. Yep. 90% of a doctor's time spent doing paperwork, and a lot of that is tied up with the government and government requirements, and so I think that these are things that should be foregrounded in any discussion. But
this is my exact point. And when it comes to the healthcare situation in the United States, this is probably where I am most libertarian, because it's not a market at all. There's no competition. Right. The insurance companies pay the doctors. The doctors put prices that are exorbitant because they can. You hear people talking about, $50 for 2 Tylenol when they were in, or whatever. Like, these kind of things should not cost as much as they do. And if you had a market where there was competition, all of these things would drop significantly. I got LASIK in my eye, lasers shot in my eyes, 13 years ago in 2012, and it was very inexpensive considering the procedure then, and I imagine it's significantly less money now.
This is why people go to Mexico for healthcare.
100%.
That's nuts. Everybody I know, okay, not literally everybody, I have tons of friends who are just like, if you can take a ride down to Tijuana, you're going to get, I was talking to Luke about it. Luke was saying, they do, what do? They do this thing where, to make the dental work heal faster, they will take your own blood, spin it to get the platelets, and then inject the platelets so that it heals real quick.
Is that PRP, platelet-rich plasma?
Something like that. And it's like things they don't do in the U.S., they do down there for a fraction of the price. It's wild. Yeah, it's regulation. It's not that we can't do it. It's that they're over-regulated.
Yeah, it is. And I think the reason it's over-regulated is because they want to mitigate harm. They want to make sure that on the off chance of the 99 people to get the project, one of the people is going to be hurt. They're like, no, then you can't do the project. But when it comes to...
I don't agree.
No. Well, why do you think it's over-regulated?
I think it's more like the government comes up to the doctor and says, hey, you know, maybe you give us a little piece of what you're doing and you come to us before you do it. And they're like, that's going to take me months. Well, we want a little taste.
It started because the government wanted to put controls on how much money people could be paid. So in response, companies started saying, well, we'll offer this benefit package. We'll pay for your health care. We'll pay for this. We'll pay for that. So there were when the government stepped in and said, you can't pay these people more than this because this job is only worth this much, etc. Then the companies had to come up with other ways to attract the best workers. So the way that they did it was they came up with benefit packages.
And people don't know this. I think everybody should know this. I, as an employer, cannot legally hire a janitor and pay him 6 figures.
You can't?
I cannot do it.
Is it like tax fraud or something?
Yes, you are required to write out what the job position is, and the rate must be market. There's a range. And if you're overpaying, you're going to get audited. Now, depending on the size of the company.
Serious?
Yeah, people don't know this stuff. So I remember when we first started this company, I was like, hey, I want to buy my mom a house, you know, like my mom deserves a house. And I have a successful show, and they said, well, you can't do that. I was like, what do you mean I can't? Why can't I? I was like, I got money now, right? I could buy a house, you take out a loan, and pay the down payment. Like, no. And they're like, no, that would be an illegal gift. Now, if you want to
family, how crazy?
Now there are certain things you can't file. Up to $15,000 this year, you can gift somebody, and you don't need to do anything. Beyond that, you have to file for a gift for the year, and then there's taxes that have to be taken out of it. So you can transfer money, but that's huge taxes. I said, okay, so what if I buy the house? Then what taxes? And they're like, okay, well then your mom would have to pay income tax on the house. So if the house costs $200,000, she owes 27%. And I'm buying, can I pay that? And then there's this diminishing return where it's like, yes, you can pay the taxes, but it's still more income. So it's a diminishing, you have to like basically overpay to stop it from happening. So there are ways you can do it, but it's overly complicated. So I was talking to him and I said, can I hire my mom for a job? And he goes, it has to be a real job. And I was like, yeah, she could do something. And he was like, if you pay anyone above market, they have to have a position with a job description. And it has to be, and you have to be able to prove upon audit they do that job. Because understand, there are lots of wealthy people that would love to hire a family member for a ridiculous salary so they could funnel money to another company, to a family, to a friend, or whatever. And so that's why these laws exist. So let me just stress it one more time. Phil, 100% correct. We have a list of every employee here. Their job title is a legitimate title that is recognized by the government, and it has to fit the parameters of what people get paid. If we go above that, we risk getting audited and accused of trying to skip on taxes.
So this is why these CEOs will have salaries, I'm actually asking, of like, meager means $600,000 a year, whatever. And then
Bezos gets $83,000 a month.
And then his benefits are...
yes, I believe Bezos gets $83,000.
That's kind of roll of Hunter Biden.
His salary is $1 million a year.
Okay, that's like what Hunter was getting at Burisma, I think.
86?
$83,000 a month.
83.
Don't want to mix him up with Hunter Biden's payments from Burisma.
But that's because I think it comes down to $1 million a year.
So then the benefits is where, and then companies get creative with benefits, and that's how they funnel wealth into their employment.
So one common practice is, okay, so this job is you're a software engineer, you make $120,000 a year. You can get paid more. You can say this person's getting $150, the market rate is $120. That's reasonable. And you can arguably say, well, this is the best engineer in the world. We're paying him double, and that's still technically reasonable. What they end up doing is they'll say, okay, we're going to hire you at 120 market rate. We're going to give you another 120 in CDs to be paid out half at this point, so it doesn't appear as income, and you'll pay taxes in the year after your contract expires. So they'll say a 3-year contract to complete the project. Once the project is over, you're going to have a CD that you can then cash out. So your taxes, so for that year, you'll receive capital gains income or whatever, and it will be taxed at a different rate. There's a whole bunch of ways powerful and wealthy individuals navigate the tax system that people don't understand. But I just want to say this one more time. The government doesn't let you give money to anybody you want. The government doesn't let you hire anybody you want. And so what Phil's saying is companies then say, okay, we'll pay for your health insurance. We'll pay. And now we've created this ridiculous system that's very weird. And it's like, break a bone, hope you have a job. And it's like, no, hold on. You should be able to pay for it, so you probably need a job in the first place. But why is it that when you get hired, your employer has to give you health insurance? That's just the weirdest thing ever.
And it all started because of government intervention. The government shouldn't have, and the government has no right to do this, but a large part of the justification, just like Tim said, is because of taxes. It's because the government will say, well, you're doing this so that way you can evade taxes. So the income tax, which is, I mean, I find that to be terrible policy anyways, it is used to control people in ways that most people don't even think about. You know, it's the income tax is why the dollar has value, which we talked about before. The fact that the income tax is required to be paid in U.S. dollars, that's what allowed them to take the backing of gold and silver away. It used to be the gold and silver backed the dollar, and that's what gave it value. But now, because of the income tax, they've created what they call modern monetary theory, where taxation is what gives the dollar value, because there's always going to be a demand for dollars.
Here's another great comment from a healthy user. Tim's employees should be 1099 contracts so he can pay them whatever they want. Also illegal. That's called permalancing, and it's a very serious crime. You're not allowed to do that. And so when we talk to people, you know, I hear these comments on, I went to go work for, I got a contract offer from insert media company, and they wanted to own everything I had. And I'm like, yeah, that's like a legal part of it. Like, blame the government for all of this. Stop blaming corporations for doing what the government is forcing them to do, and start blaming the government. And then we can get Thomas Massey and Rand Paul, we can get Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, and they can start ripping to shreds the bureaucracy, firing people who shouldn't be there, and figure out why things are regulated in such ridiculous ways.
Yeah, I can see why you would want to protect. Okay, so a guy, he's like, I sell a product, I make $100 billion a year, I want to give $50 billion of it to my brother, and we'll just say that's his salary. I see why someone's got to be like, hold on there.
Why?
I mean, I don't know. I guess because it can be abused.
A father works his hands to the bone. Literally, his fingertips are gone and it's just buckling sticking out, and he's like, I'm an old man, and I have made $50 million so I can give to my children. And everyone goes, no. We get half. Of course, we're going to tax it at 37%. You're going to pay, on average, look, if a wealthy person is playing their cards right with a tax lawyer and an accountant, then depending on where they're making their money, if it's income, it's going to be 37%. Then you got property taxes and everything else. If they're playing loopholes with capital gains, they can make a lot of money doing other things. But let's just say someone does physical labor to the point where they make $50 million. They get taxed at 37% on everything above, I think it's like $277,000. No, it might be like $360 right now if he's married. And then after, so the majority of it is taxed at basically more than a third. Then when he dies, they get another half of that. Why can't someone just give their family member money having earned it if they should?
Or their friend. Like, why does it have to stop at family? I mean...
So what they do is they either create limited liability corporations where they start a company with a family member and then say, I'm investing $1 billion into this company, of which my son is a 50% shareholder. Then so remember when Mark Zuckerberg announced he was giving away all his money, and everybody clapped and they were like, wow, he's giving away his money. So I could be wrong about this. You could fact check me.
I always think those packages are proxy.
Yeah, you give your money to a corporation, so you give away your money, and then it's basically protected.
Like a trust. Right. That's what trusts are. You put money in a trust, and then later on it pays you back.
It is kind of wild.
Like a family trust or something.
There are trusts out of Delaware where you basically don't pay any taxes. And so the argument is, I could be totally wrong about this because I don't do it, but I had talked to a tax lawyer, and he's like, here's what you do. You get a specific kind of trust out of Delaware. It costs $5,000 a year to maintain with the state. All of your money goes into this trust, and the trust acts as the legal entity that does the financial dealings. A trust is not an entity that can be taxed, so if it makes capital gains, it doesn't get taxed itself. Then when you pull the money out, you get taxed on it, but it basically avoids double taxation, and it allows you to make capital gains without, in the immediate, the trust is just being replenished and you're getting wealthier.
Right. So there's loopholes. I think that there's a real disconnect between a lot of the underlying government causes of a lot of these frustrations and problems that people have and people's awareness of it. And you were talking about Taylor Lorenz last night and her laughable comments. And I think that, there's so many people actually like her out there who have some vague sense that there's something wrong with our healthcare system. And it's just easier and more symbolically satisfying to blame it on the CEOs of insurance companies than to actually get into the muck of really dissecting what's going on here with this. A lot of it having to do with government interference regulation.
Yeah, but I do think the government has a role, and that's the government being an arm of the people coming together socially and being like, we're going to ban certain products from sale in our country, like certain poisons that are very profitable and addictive to the human body, maybe like, I don't know, azo dyes in general. I don't know how addictive they are, but like petroleum-based food coloring apparently causes hypertension or can lead to hypertension in children and humans, which can cause inflammation. So like maybe we could ban that stuff like RFKs.
When you look at the U.S. versus Europe, there's a joke among people who have ever traveled to Europe that you feel so much better after you've been away from this place and the food that we eat for a while. And that's because actually, if you go to Europe, a lot of the time you're getting food more or less sort of straight from the source. American gangster reference there, but you are more or less, the fish was caught right over here or what have you, and over here it's just it seems like there's so many processes.
That does exist if you're wealthy.
Right.
So for the average poor American, you're basically being forced to eat garbage, and I say forced lightly. You go to the grocery store, you make a choice, okay? And I was telling this story a couple weeks ago. Alice and I went to the grocery store, and I love getting little cottage cheeses. Very healthy. It's keto friendly, they call it. And Allison grabbed a pack of this. I don't know what the company is. And I looked at the ingredients, and it's got a bunch of weird garbage in it. It's got emulsifiers and stuff. Daisy, which does the sour cream and the cottage cheese, their ingredients, it's like skim milk, cream, salt. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna buy that.
Yeah.
So for a lot of people, they're eating Kraft macaroni and cheese. They're eating these like off-the-shelf products with tartrazine and red dye 3, those other things, because it's cheap. They're not getting proper nutrition. They're not getting proper diets. They're getting morbidly obese. They're getting chronic illness. RFK Jr. is right.
And it sort of is an extrapolation of the lion diet that Michaela Peterson talks a lot about, which ultimately, from her, what she's explained it is, it's just all meat. Whatever a lion would eat, that's what she eats. It's like beef and like et cetera, and salt. But then what's really happening is it's an elimination diet. All the stuff you don't eat, all the stuff you've taken out of your diet. I think that's what the government should be doing, is providing a sort of elimination diet now for our populace.
But this is a big trend among millennials. Like soda consumption is massively down. And that's why there's these commercials popping up where it's the Coalition of Soda Drinks of America. Did you know that we have low sugar options? And then there's like a guy in a white lab coat, and they like show all these things. And I'm like, I have here a Spindrift. They do not sponsor the show, but I will shout them out. Why? Ingredients: carbonated water, grapefruit juice, orange juice, lemon juice, hibiscus.
I love it so much.
That's awesome.
The pineapple, I'm like shooting myself in the foot with this. The pineapple Spindrift is so good. And I tell people that on stream, and then it sells out. And it's so frustrating because I get it on Amazon, and then it's like $6 for 12 of them, or for 8 of them, and then they're sold out.
This is what soda should be.
But I want to spread the wealth.
It's got 4 carbs, 3 of it is sugars, and there's no sugar added. It's just sparkling water with a little fruit juice. I don't want to drink a bottle of syrup, okay? But there are a lot of people who go to the store, they pick up a Coca-Cola, Pepsi, whatever it is, get their high fructose corn syrup. Maybe they can't afford the Spindrifts. I don't know.
Or they don't know they exist. I think a lot of people, it's still kind of...
We're going to make America healthy again.
Yeah, we are.
So help us. We will do it.
You got to be careful with that
Last thing we do.
That stuff will rip your teeth up, though. I was drinking a lot of Spindrift that put holes in my enamel. I don't know if I can blame solely... I think it's the carbonation
No,
itself.
it's the acid. But yeah, soda will do worse.
Fruit juice has a lot of acid.
Lemon.
In it. Oh, for sure. Soda's a million times. I mean, I don't know how many times worse, but all that sugar.
You got a raspberry lime over there. Spindrift is the best. Okay.
It's so good, and you can add juice to it too, like a really good organic.
So I go to the
peach juice. I pour a little bit into my Spindrift.
I go to a restaurant. I say, give me a club soda with some lemon. That's what I drink. So when I saw Spindrift, which is basically a club soda with lemon, I'm like, then we got all the flavors now. I'm a big fan. Okay, not a sponsor or anything like that, but it's just a great product. Let's jump to this story from the Post Millennial. Trump team preps executive order to end birthright citizenship on day one. Based. What say you, panel?
I think that if
Say based.
I have a feeling that it's going to go to the Supreme Court. I have a feeling there's going to be challenges, and then it's going to go to the Supreme Court, which is a good thing because then the Supreme Court can actually rule on whether or not there should be anchor babies or not. Because conceptually, I think most Americans, and I can't say everyone, but I think most Americans are against the idea of if you can get pregnant and then get to America when you're 9 months pregnant, no one's going to send you away because you're 9 months pregnant and, oh, look, the poor pregnant lady, have a baby, and then you can just stay because you got here. Like, that's a bad precedent to have.
Let me pull up the 14th Amendment so I can break this down for everybody, and the leftists can whinge. Section 1 of the 14th Amendment says all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and the state wherein they reside. What does that sentence mean? Anybody? Want to crack at it? What was the intent of that sentence?
Well, I mean, initially it was to make sure that black slaves were considered.
They were literally saying, of the adult population in this country that was born here and subject to our jurisdiction, we hereby say you are citizens. That was the point of the 14th Amendment. It was not to say, at some point when a person from Germany shows up and has a baby, that baby under our jurisdiction will be a citizen. It seems like this was grossly misinterpreted. The whole thing is quite literally about the Civil War. Section 3, no person shall be a senator or representative of Congress having waged insurrection, blah, blah, blah. The validity of public debt by the U.S. authorized, incurred during payment of pensions and bounties and services suppressing insurrection. It's literally the Civil War. They're literally saying, hey, there's a 20-year-old black man who was born here, and we have jurisdiction over him. You're a citizen. That was it. It was the end of slavery. And it's turned into somehow that a Guatemalan family can illegally enter the country by crossing a border and then within a few months give birth, and that baby is now a permanent citizen. Think about how stupid that sounds. A woman from China flies at 8 months pregnant, 7 months, and stays on a 3-month visa, gives birth in the United States, flies home. That kid is raised for 30 years in China, but has U.S. citizenship the whole time. I don't think the
Clearly not was intended.
Now, I know the Founding Fathers didn't intend for people to be flying around on anything, because they certainly didn't comprehend how that would happen. Maybe hot air balloons. They did have
Yeah,
those.
they did. Ben Franklin got it.
They had hot air balloons. They used them for warfare. But the idea that someone from a foreign country would come here, have a kid, and then leave. And I'm sorry, I got to clarify. Not the Founding Fathers, but the government at the time of the Civil War. They didn't intend for the British to come over, have kids, and be like, they're our citizens now. And they can be
take
your
them back
president.
to Britain.
Right.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. I think that they were also trying to grow the population for the first half of the country's existence, for the first 2/3 up until the middle 1900s.
Had like 7 kids, dude.
What, who did?
Women be cranking out babies.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Look at the movie The Patriot with Mel Gibson. Best
Pumping
movie
them
of all
out.
time.
Yeah.
What did he have?
Baby,
9
baby,
kids?
baby.
He had a lot of kids.
Yeah. Work the farm, kid. Get to work.
Make babies.
Maybe one day you'll have a farm of your own. But so I think that this
people
was also...
like sex back then too, so
they still do.
And that was kids were before birth control, kids were the result of sex.
Yeah. And I hear the Sabbath, the Jewish Sabbath, is a lot about impregnating your wife every Saturday. It's like put down the technology and have sex with your wife all day until she's pregnant, and then take 9 months off, and then as soon as she's had the kid, do it again.
I'm in no position to make it.
I was told that by a hardcore Jewish. So I don't know, maybe they were more lax about having new citizens before when they wrote this thing, but the idea that a British person could come over here, sneak into the country, well, they were, ideally people weren't sneaking into the country, but have a kid and then take them back to Britain, educate them with the British ideology, and then they're an American citizen is crazy. And I don't know why there's not a loophole in there for like, you got to live here for 10 years or something.
I just didn't anticipate this entire matrix of travel, like you would say, air travel, and also just the huge influx of immigration that we ended up having.
And they said, you can amend this Constitution. We're writing it for today, and you're supposed to change it over time when it makes sense for your community and your society. You have to change this thing. It's not a static document.
It's a static document unless you because it is a stringent process to change it.
It's a static document that can be changed in its state. Its order of stasis can be.
Donald Trump will issue an executive order on day 1. The ACLU will have a seizure and vomit on themselves and file a lawsuit. And then it will quickly go to the Supreme Court, as it is already a federal issue. And the Supreme Court will, I think they'll agree with Trump.
I mean, I hope so, because I do think that the idea of, you know, anchor babies, someone just coming here and being like, oh, now me and my, because, I mean, you get the whole, someone is born here, or you have a kid here, and then mom can stay to take care of the kid, and then because of that, they can start chain migration. It's a ridiculous.
Look at what the left is saying. They're saying Trump's going to deport U.S. citizens. Yeah, children, because their parents are leaving. I say this. Donald Trump, here's the proposal. The proposal is, we're not going to deport any U.S. citizens. That 3-year-old child can stay here as a ward of the state, or can go with their parents back home.
Yep. And then when they're 18, they can come back to the U.S. because
the left wants family separation. What can I say?
I don't have a problem with
Do you guys think that Trump is going to come through really hardcore with the immigration stuff?
I mean, if he's talking about doing it on day one.
Yeah.
That's a bold statement to say on day one he's going to do this stuff.
Yeah.
Because day one is 2 months.
Yep.
Not even. We're looking at a month and 10 days.
I can't wait to see what. I just want to see what happens. Like, I mean, I do have a preference, a policy preference that I want to see, but I really want to see like what happens when Donald Trump is actually the president again, and is actually starting to influence policy, making executive orders, and pressuring Congress to do things and pass legislation that he can sign. You know,
if he was to do this executive order thing, what would that look like?
Well, I mean, he said it would. I don't know. I don't think that it's been fleshed out. But there are people, even if he didn't tell people on his staff that this was his intent before he said this on the show, as soon as they heard him say that, they're like, all right, well, we got to start writing. Because that's exactly what happened when he made an offhanded remark about silencers when there was a shooting used with a silencer. And he was like, someone said, don't you think these should be illegal? And he's like, well, we'll look into it. And people, even though he didn't actually specifically tell anyone, he said it in an interview, people heard that, people on his staff heard that, like, all right, we got to start coming up with some kind of framework for how that'll work, and et cetera, et cetera.
So this is like he's saying he's going to make an executive order that will override the Constitution?
No.
He's
saying he's going to issue an executive order that says the Constitution of the 14th Amendment must be enforced as it's written. That is to say, if you are born in this country and subject to its jurisdiction, you're a citizen. Guess what? If two people who are not of the United States come here and have a child, that child is not subject to its jurisdiction. It's subject to the jurisdiction of the citizenship of the families. Yep. Let's put it this way. If two people came here from China and gave birth to a child, and then the U.S. tried taking that child, saying it's ours, what do you think China's going to do?
Right.
They're going to be, no, you're not.
Right.
But I think it honestly is fairly simple. It'd be, like Tim said, if they're subject to its jurisdiction, the words in these amendments matter. Like the idea that you can just interpret around the intent and purpose of an amendment. That's that's constructing law from the bench, and that's something that the judiciary is not supposed to do. The judiciary is not supposed to write law. At the most, they're supposed to interpret law, but they're definitely not supposed to create law.
I'm starting to see this, actually, the legitimacy of what you guys are talking about. That if people that are, I'm just going to reiterate what's been said, and people in the chat are like, he's so just doing that anyway. People come over here illegally. They're here illegally. They have a kid on the soil while they're illegally here. The kid isn't necessarily subject to the jurisdiction of the state.
Correct.
Because they were here born of illegal people that are here illegally.
Right. So, but why would a child be subject to our jurisdiction simply for being born here? Right. Let's say a family from Mexico visits the United States as tourists, and they bring their 7-year-old kid. None of them are subject to our jurisdiction. We have certain jurisdiction where we can say we're deporting you, but they're subject to the jurisdiction of Mexico as Mexican nationals, and we have a treaty by which we respect them, and we allow them here on certain terms. So the argument they're making is that, but if you're in our jurisdiction, we can arrest you. And it's like, yes, but we can't imprison you because it creates an international crisis where that country then makes demands over their citizens who they have jurisdiction over.
A lot of times if someone from another country breaks the law, we'll arrest them and then just ship them out of here.
It's not our jurisdiction. You are here in our country, committed a crime, and we're sending you home.
What does it mean to be subject to the jurisdiction of? The I'm looking up
the
right
principal
now.
argument is that when this was written, it was referring to slaves of the United States who were born here and have no other country to call home. They were under the jurisdiction of the U.S. government, where slave patrols could capture them if they tried to escape. After the Civil War, they said if you were born here and subject to our jurisdiction, you're a citizen.
Yeah, this says United States versus Wong Kim Ark 169 U.S. 649 in 1898. The Supreme Court wrote that subject to the jurisdiction would appear to have been to exclude by the fewest and fittest words besides children of members of the Indian tribes.
Children? Yeah, can you articulate that one more time?
So it's supposed to jurisdiction, subject to the jurisdiction thereof, kind of appears to have excluded children of members of Indian tribes.
So here's a super chat
in
from
the country, but they're not subject to the jurisdiction.
Amos Moses says, before the Indian Citizenship Act of 1924, Indians born in the U.S. were not citizens because they were not subject to the U.S. jurisdiction.
Yeah,
they had treaties. They have their own land. Still to this day. On native land, there are certain federal regulations based on treaties, but this is what actually created casinos. They were arguing that they were not to be regulated by the state. The states were like, yeah, right. And they were like, no, try me, dude.
Mm-hmm. Technically, that's why you hear about the Cherokee Nation. They're considered a nation of their own. They're considered separate from the United States of America. And because of that, they're not subject to the jurisdiction. There are...
It's kind of wild, right? To imagine being 1890 and you literally just walk into town and go, I'm a citizen. How would they know? What are they going to do?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's birth records and stuff, but you'd be like, oh yeah, but I'm from California.
It was assumed everybody was a citizen if you were in America because it was hard to get here. Because, it was, the late 1800s, the ships took a long time to get across the ocean. So it wasn't impossible, but it was much harder than it is today where, if you have $1,000 or a couple $1,000, you can get across the ocean and get an escort all the way through South America up to the border.
There was still resentment, even 100 years ago or so of immigrants,
sure.
but it was definitely, the accessibility now and the ease with which people can break these.
And they can get rid of their accent by watching American English TV from the age of 1.
Oh, dude, I knew a guy who lived in Turkey who learned English by watching Family Guy.
And then, because before they probably always would have an accent. If they came over on a boat, you'd know because they had a crazy Irish accent or something.
They talked like this.
So now that Trump...
I'm kidding, he didn't.
But we have, Trump has the White House and the Republicans have both houses and the Supreme Court is pretty stacked, so there should be no issue then, right, with him implementing...
Yeah, now Trump can arrest every single Democratic voter in the country and send them to Europe. Let's jump to the story for the nation. President Biden should issue a blanket pardon of undocumented immigrants. I'm not going to read a stupid argument. Basically, the nation is arguing that Biden should basically say all illegal immigrants are hereby pardoned for the crime of entering the country, and Trump can't deport you.
Well, you could still... I don't know the details of what's in this stupid piece by the nation, which is basically a communist rag. But the idea that just because you're pardoned, doesn't mean that you become a citizen. So maybe the pardon will say, okay, you're not subject to punishment, but that doesn't mean we can't still wrap you up and send you back home. I don't understand why it would mean that they're automatically naturalized.
You could pardon them for the crime of entering the country, but that doesn't mean that them being here isn't still a crime.
Well, not only that, but even if they say, okay, this isn't a crime, you being here, but you can say you aren't a citizen, so you need to go back to where you're from. We're not going to put you into the you're not going to have to be punished for it. You're not going to have to go to jail or anything or pay any fines, but we can still remove you and send you home.
I'm just amazed at how tone deaf, how persistently tone deaf these kinds of writers, these kinds of articles are. To not be able to read the room better. The place that we're at as a nation now is, I think that immigration, undocumented illegal immigration, it has reached a level that almost everyone agrees it's a problem. I don't think, this attitude is so outdated, and so it's just interesting after this election to see this still being promoted.
It was like 70% of Americans were comfortable with not just closing the border or building the wall or whatever. It was 70% of Americans were okay with rounding up illegals and sending them home.
And many more Latinos for example, than the left evidently expected. And I'm from Texas, and I interact all the time with people from Latino heritage, and so many of them are fed up with undocumented illegal immigration themselves. So many of them voted Trump, and they say, really, it's insulting for people to assume that just because I'm from this particular heritage that I don't believe in doing things in a proper law-abiding way, or that and here's the thing too, a lot of people, once they make it to America, they want to shut the door behind them because they understand that if you let too many people in, then you're going to then it's not going to be the place that they were wanting to immigrate to in the first place.
Exactly.
Right?
Another thing that I just want to point out is like the idea that all Latinos are the same.
Right.
That is only acceptable to white people, right?
So
like
racist
people.
What?
Racist people.
Well, I mean,
many of them happen to be white.
I'm not sure if it's intended to be racist, but it's definitely ignorant. You know, if you tell a Puerto Rican and a Mexican, you guys are basically the same, right? They're gonna kill you. They're gonna berate you. They're gonna yell at you. They're gonna call you all kinds of names. They're gonna make fun of you. Like, that is absolutely not true.
Right.
So the way that the left just, throws everybody into a pot, so that way they can use them as a tool against the right, and that's the only reason they do it.
Well, it's the same thing with voter ID and the idea that black people can't obtain identification. It's so or can't use the internet. It's so racist.
Yeah, the term insane. POC was such a racist person of color. Like, your skin is a little different color. Let's put you in a box with a bunch of other people with similar
and say
skins
that
don't match
you
mine.
Don't know how to get ID. You're too stupid, or you're too non-savvy about basic internet technology and government procedures to get an ID. I mean, it's just so insulting.
How racist people can become in the attempt to be non-racist is like it just.
In the attempt to project non-racism.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like, we're gonna hold up all these other people's skin colors' abilities to do. It's just such a I don't know, man. Morgan Freeman had it right. Look, I'm a man, you're a man. That's how we defeat racism.
That's a liberal principle. That's the whole idea is to look at people as if they're people. But the left doesn't want to do that because, as I've said multiple times on this show, happy people don't revolt. So they use race as a way to make people think that they have something to be angry at other people about. They do what they can to incite racial grievance, and that's part of why race has been such a hot topic the past 10 to 15 years. It's because it's intentional, because the left uses that to get power. They use race as a way to get power.
And as many people have been pointing out over the past couple of weeks, like Aaron McIntyre is making this point, the Civil Rights Act has basically was the first domino to fall over in what created racial grievance and identitarian grievance. And I don't think they're completely wrong. I don't know that I completely agree 100%, because I do believe that just because we say, hey man, like, let's be reasonable, don't tell someone they can't shop at your store because they're black or they're Mexican or whatever, we can set limits. But the end result basically turns into everybody will file lawsuits citing that precedent and simply saying, because of my insert immutable characteristic, I am protected and you can't do these things to me. So the Civil Rights Act has basically created the circumstance where everybody now wants to justify why they are an aggrieved class, a victim. So you end up with now gender identity. And the Supreme Court ruling that, yep, if you're trans, you're protected under the Civil Rights Act. And it's like, okay, well, now there's no line anymore, because gender identity is not defined anywhere. So we know what it means to be white or not white, for the most part. Because the law says race. So if a guy comes in and he's got, he might be white, he might be black, I don't know, maybe a parent or grandparent in there, and the guy says, you look like a person of a different race, so get out. Okay, well, you can't do that. But now what's happening with the gender identity stuff is they're basically saying, like, men can have beards and women can have beards, and men might wear dresses and women might wear suits. Therefore, anyone can be anything at any time, and they're gender fluid. Now that means basically everything is a protected class, no matter what. I think that may get overturned at the Supreme Court, depending on what happens with that latest ruling on gender ideology, but we'll see. But the argument being made by a lot of the post-liberals, these are people who were liberal, and now they're like, hey, wait a minute. The rules and the world that we put in place based on these ideas have resulted in rampant wokeness and grievances. What do you do to solve for it? I have no idea.
Well, you look at reality. I sounded like Dave Rubin there. You look his accent. You look at it just plaintively, without presumption. Like having a large influx of foreigners illegally into your country can damage the stability of your country. I don't care about what race you are. I don't care about what color your skin was before you got here. I don't care about any of that. I more value the stability of our nation and our community. So if you look at it from the starting point of like how do we stabilize the system, then I think pretty much like you were saying, 70% of the people are like, yeah, you can't just like barge through the border unaffiliated. Like you can't. It's too destabilizing for any country.
Yeah, look, the idea of assimilation was something that was obvious and basically universal for Americans.
Celebrated,
Yeah. I mean, look at the early part of the 20th century. The people that came to America, the young people weren't allowed to speak the home country's language at home because they wanted to make sure the kids learned English and spoke English, and they all tried to become American. And nowadays, it is more valuable to try to not become an American and be aggrieved. It used to be, I want to become American so I can work hard and I can get ahead because I believe in America. And now it's, I want to get to America so I can get on some kind of assistance because they'll give it to me because I'm XYZ identity. And that is a terrible policy. It's going to bankrupt the country.
I blame the blasted World Economic Forum for trying to disempower the United States greatness and take control with these global liberal economic order banks.
I think
seeding poison into the minds of the American youth and the global youth. I've had enough of it. We're immune now. And I'll keep going if you want me to.
I'm just,
like almost a non sequitur there.
I think that's funny. That's
yeah. Well, I think this whole idea of like I don't want to assimilate, I don't care to assimilate, has been seeded in. Like I remember when you'd go sign up for a website and always what country you're from. The United States would be at the top. It was alphabetical, but except United States was at the top.
I've noticed that's
now it's at the bottom because it's
sometimes it is, but I've also seen it coming back and getting put at the top.
Why
again
am I
the last
scrolling
4 or
all the
5
way
years.
down of every single country in the world?
For a while, I was like, why is it not alphabetical? Why do I get? And then it was gone, and I was like, wow, we really are the least worst country out there. And now it's back, and I'm like, good. I'm down for some American supremacy, but in a good way. The ideology.
All cultures are good.
Yeah. Not militaristically. I mean, maybe we need some protective essence on the planet, but like. I'm talking about the cultural benevolence of like free speech and things like that.
I think, Ian had this great rant where he said the U.S. military should go and bring constitutional republicanism to all countries of the planet, whether they want it or not.
Wait, the military?
You said that.
I'm not sure if I said military, did I? No, I wouldn't have said that.
You said that you think it was you thought it was good that the military was trying to bring democracy.
Hold on a second, you're making me sound like George Bush Jr. here.
Bro, you literally said this, and we were all shocked.
We pull up the tape, Serge.
And I can't remember. Like Elad was like, my man.
He would have said that if I did.
It was like Afghanistan, and you said we were bringing constitutional order that would guarantee free speech and certain rights to people around the world.
Damn, I don't think we can do a military. I don't think that imposing authority through force is the way anymore because the internet, you see through it. But the cultural, like awesomeness of the music and the television shows, the little kids that want to learn English from the age of 1, that want to become a movie star, they want to go to Hollywood, like that stuff I love.
So let's jump to the story. This is breaking. Nancy Mace was physically assaulted. This is the report that we're getting right now. We don't have a lot of details. Nick's order says Nancy Mace was physically assaulted by a pro-trans man at the Capitol tonight. Does that mean it's like a guy who supports transgender issues?
I bet anything that it was a trans. Well, it was.
Well, let me keep reading. It says the left is insanely violent. He says this has gone too far. Nancy Mace is sending these degenerates a message. Your trans violence and threats on my life will only make me double down. She has a tweet where she says I was physically accosted tonight on Capitol grounds over my fight to protect women. Capitol Police have arrested him. All of the violence and threats proving our point. Women deserve to be safe. Your threats will not stop my fight for women. So she said him. And knowing her position on the issue, this means it was a biological man who identified as a man, but was in support of trans issues.
Oh, wow. A man that actually assaulted. That was
a leftist guy.
Yeah, I mean, which isn't a surprise. Leftists are, they're violent.
But here's my question for everybody here is, right now, Rudyard is at 2 of 1,000. Rudyard, What If Alt History says by April, 1,000 people will have died over political, with a political motivation domestically.
I hope he's wrong.
And I certainly hope he's wrong too, considering it's been a month since the election where he did predict Trump would win, and then we would see 1,000 dead. 2 people have died thus far on politically motivated grounds. It's the CEO, of course, and then someone tried to kill Marjorie Taylor Greene, and in the circumstance ended up killing an innocent woman. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, whoa, 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 what happened? I know, when I tell you the real story, you're going to say, okay. She was swatted, and the bomb squad rushing to her home to save her life crashed, killing an innocent woman who was driving and got hit. So that's collateral damage of leftist terrorism. But I do believe it is fair to say that someone made an attempt on the life of Marjorie Taylor Greene, and as the police rushed to save her, the killing of this innocent woman is her getting caught in the crossfire. So 2, 1,000. Do you think we will see 1,000 by April?
I don't think we will. I'm hoping that Rudyard is wrong. I also don't think that. I don't think I would bet a lot of money on it, but I would bet a little money that Rudyard is wrong. That we don't see 1,000.
I think it's crazy.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a handful more. But the 2 attempts on Donald Trump's life, the CEO guy, and that's this attack on Nancy Mace, which
Nancy Mace. So she has another tweet. She got hurt.
Did she actually get injured?
She has a knee brace and she has to ice her arm. She says not like serious, but that's an injury. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's pretty wild. That's crazy.
Look, and I was just arguing with a leftist about right wing versus left wing terrorism and violence and stuff. The left. There is always an argument that people make that say that the right is more violent than the left. The right and there's always statistics and stuff that they use, and I find the arguments not compelling. The people that correlate the data, I feel like they're biased. The ramblings of a racist who kills people because they're racist. That's not really political. That's racial. That's racial hate. Isn't all like I don't feel like it's political the same way that the person that attacked Nancy Mace is clearly political. And I mean, I know that there are people that are going to say, "Oh, Phil, the data says," but there are extremely obvious and clear examples of leftist violence that are obviously leftist. All of the riots during the Summer of Love, when the guy attacked the congressional baseball game and shot Steve Scalise, the attacks on Rand Paul. Rand Paul's been attacked himself 3 or 4 different times. One time when he was just walking down the street in not the one at his house, but he was walking down the street in D.C. The shooters that were just trying to kill Trump, neither of them, I don't care what anyone says, they weren't Trump supporters. That's the most ridiculous thing that I've ever heard.
I do got to read a super chat here real quick. Sorry, you were going to
go ahead, yeah.
So Joseph says it's 7, not 2. A woman killed her father. A woman killed herself and her kids. A woman killed her boyfriend because of the Trump election.
Yeah, killed her father,
God, that's crazy, the guy that killed his family.
What was that story?
So a guy killed his 2 kids and his wife.
Over the election?
That allegedly that was the.
So actually, it was more than 7.
Yeah, come on.
Wow. I mean, that's still. Rudyard thinks in the next 5 months, 1,000 people. And a lot of people respond to me saying, "Dude, January 3rd, like the Congress comes in, January 6th, Trump wins, then the inauguration."
Yep.
January 21st, Trump signs no birthright citizenship, begin the deportations. People are going to lose their minds.
46-year-old Minnesota man Anthony Nephew killed his ex-wife, ex-partner, and 2 sons.
But why?
Before taking his own life.
What was the reason?
Hold on one second. Duluth, let's see. No, it says the motive behind the killings is unclear. And this is that's the AI, Braves AI. Let's see. Let me see what they...
Yeah, that woman in Seattle.
I'm going to kill her.
Minnesota dad who ranted against Trump election, gunned down wife, ex-girlfriend, and 2 kids.
Over a Trump election, you said?
Man who ranted against Trump election, gunned down.
Well...
I'm still looking to see if I can find actual...
this is the challenge, right? Because, like, are we going to really play this game where it's like a guy who ranted at one point and then later for different reasons did a thing? Nah. The idea that Rudyard had, that he was expressing, was that the political tensions in this country would get so great that we would see people dying because of it. So a woman killing her father, yes. She said, quote, something about the election, she muttered. And it was on election day. I think she wanted the lights turned on or something. I can't remember what it was.
Right.
And then she snapped and just killed her dad.
Insane.
Yeah, so that one's like, I don't know. Man, I hope it's not the case. I hope Trump gets in. He won. It's a clean sweep. It's a popular mandate. I hope that he just gets the job done and they cry on the internet.
I do feel like the anti-Trump hysteria really did peak, I think, in the last election, 2016, when Trump was elected. I feel like basically what's happened now to this point is that people, even who didn't like Trump, they did realize that, okay, this guy, it turns out, is not Mussolini. He's not actually Hitler. He's not literally Hitler. And so, I don't know. I just think, allergy attack tonight. I just think that people have wisened up to this by and large. The media have not. You're still going to have the left wing people freaking out in the media, but I think that most Americans, even on the left, have really wised up to the fact that Trump is not some terrifying figure.
Yeah, they got a taste of what it was like to have Joe Biden as president too, which is like, still, is he our president? It's so weird that old. I mean, I guess for the first year I get it, but even that was like, people saw like what they did with Kamala Harris. They're like, here's your candidate that's here, ladies and gentlemen. Like, where's the primary? A lot of people were just like, you know what? Donald Trump was elected. Donald Trump served as president. He didn't go crazy. He said some stuff I didn't like, but
it wasn't
speaking for other people.
His presidency was not the house of horrors that the left told us to expect. And so I think no matter what he does within reason in the next 4 years, I think people are just not going to freak out on that level. We're not going to see like the pink pussy hats and stuff like that.
I was watching some old Apprentice videos. Those are pretty funny. Reminding myself who he is deep down in his heart. He's a great diplomat. That's the thing about him, is his North Korean diplomacy, cool intentions with North Korea, cool intentions with Russia, cool intentions with, I mean, the guy is just a super charismatic master diplomat. And that is a great upgrade from slowly Joe Biden, who's just like falling over at the wheel, exhausted. I mean, good Lord. And there wasn't another better option.
Well, and you mentioned, The Apprentice, and something that my husband is always saying is that people spent years before Trump got into politics. They spent years being introduced to him through the television. And so there's a basic comfort level that a lot of Americans have that the media might not have, but a lot of Americans have known Trump for a long time, and they're cool with him.
Anybody listening that, even if you don't have issues, if you do or don't have issues with Trump, go back and watch old clips of The Apprentice and Trump in the boardroom. Because the dude is he's cool, man. He's not evil. He's actually not evil. It turns out he's actually pretty good. He might actually be neutral, because he's like, look, sometimes the good people fail in business, and that's just the harsh reality of it.
Donald Trump, you're saying?
Yeah.
He's clearly lawful good.
You think he's a good? I think he's lawful neutral. I think he's lawful neutral. He strikes me as very articulate and cares a lot about the law and legal authority, but he's like...
Yeah, he's like a paladin.
I think paladins are chaotic good.
Instrument of divine retribution.
I don't know about that. Because
he's chaotic good, man. You can't tell what
you think he's chaotic.
He's chaotic good. You can't tell what he's gonna do. He likes it that way. He uses that chaos to his advantage. That's why. Yeah, exactly.
It's like Robin Hood.
Exactly.
Robin Hood was chaotic good.
I think Robin. I'm not sure about that.
He could be neutral good as well.
Okay, guys. I'm gonna stop right there. Donald Trump is chaotic good. Here's the story from the Intelligencer. Here's the story from the Intelligencer. Jill Biden becomes involuntary model in Trump cologne ad.
Involuntary.
Look at this image.
Hey.
It's Jill Biden looking at Trump and smiling, and it says, "A fragrance your enemies can't resist."
I love that.
And Trump is selling the Fight perfume and cologne collection.
She loves him. She really loves him.
Look, people that spend time around Donald Trump can't help but be like, that guy's all right.
Uber charisma.
So you said lawful neutral? Is that what you said?
Yeah, well, I think he's lawful neutral.
He's certainly not neutral when he does things like this.
He's super charismatic.
It's chaotic good. He's chaotic good.
He loves to be loved. And
this is
Joe didn't show up. She needed somebody there to talk to.
Whoa.
Hey.
The other guy's wife.
DJT's down to party, man.
Look, He's definitely. I think that the closest thing for Donald Trump is chaotic good. You can never tell what he's going to do. He genuinely wants good things in the end. He wants good things for America. He doesn't want war. He doesn't want to hurt people unless necessary. Which is like, Soleimani he killed, but that was because he had political justification for that. Whether you agree with it or not, the point is that he's not out there thinking, oh, I'm just going to go and start wars to start wars. He's not a Dick Cheney. He's not looking to start wars so he can profit off wars. He makes way more money by having positive business dealings than he ever would by being at war.
Look at this. I was thinking about buying something, giving them out for Christmas. I think it's a good idea.
Oh, Trump cologne.
I think it's a great idea.
We got to at least get one.
There's perfume, too.
Sample
women's
the smell.
perfume. Look at the perfume. So he didn't put himself standing tall on it on the women's bottle. It just says fight, fight, fight. But I'm like, dude, this is the best Christmas gift ever for your liberal family members.
You should have one on the table so everybody can get a whiff.
It's $200 though, man.
He knows how to sell it. Look at that. A golden
You can
Trump
smell
stand.
like Donald Trump.
Oh, he looks like Superman in that, like Clark Kent.
Limited edition, numbered, collectible cologne celebrates President Trump's historic victory. I gotta get some. It arrived. Oh, it ships in March.
Oh man, back order.
I wanted to get this for Christmas.
They're probably like trying to keep up with demand because as soon as he started advertising,
You might be able to pull some strings and get a early.
Hey, if they're probably not made yet.
Yeah, that's true. I got it, man. I have so much gratitude for this guy. Now, as time goes on and the amount of personal sacrifice he's put himself through. And at one point I was like, it's all ego, but he really cares, man.
And you remember when he got 2 scoops of ice cream, but everybody else got 1? Think about the kind of sacrifice someone like him would have to make. Normally he'd go for 4, but he 1.
I tell you what, if I was the president, and I have another scoop, Donald Trump would say yes. I bet he wouldn't say no.
He'd just be like, why are you asking me? I don't know. The ice cream's over there. And they did that thing where they're like, his salt and pepper shakers were bigger than everyone else's. And I'm like, dude, I don't think Trump manages the salt and pepper shakers. These people are insane.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, anybody who's ever gotten catering, you're not going to be like, and make sure at my seat in the table I have the big... They're going to be like, what?
Don
I don't
might
have those.
Don might
No,
have
he
done that.
doesn't.
It's like, make sure I have the biggest and the best salt and pepper shake.
Someone else may have done that. Someone preparing it be like, give Don the big shake.
He hires people and he's like, always make sure that I get the biggest and the best of everything. Make sure.
Two
He's definitely a showman. He's kind of less of a showman since he got into politics. And he's more about just
I don't know. When he started, he was very much a showman.
Yeah.
Now I think he's just pissed.
Really?
He said
Mr. Hell.
He said the J6 committee should be in jail.
Yeah. The Doge.
He's all out of together.
He's like, good. Elon, Vivek, take over. We're slashing the
I really hope that is a legit thing, that they do a good job with that, because I frankly am dubious that anyone has the guts to deal with our debt problem. I just don't know in a democracy if that is a solvable issue when the votes really depend on getting, an older demographic to support you and to support your party. And I just feel like any real solutions to the debt problem, it's going to have to involve cuts to Social Security, raising retirement age. I mean, won't it?
Yeah. This is an extremely unpopular truth. If you have a significant amount of growth annually, you can manage the debt that we have, but I don't think that fixes the problem. I think that there have to be cuts, or at the very least, there has to be a halt on spending while the country grows. So, as long as whoever is in the position to make financial decisions for the country isn't talking about cutting or preventing the increases, stopping the growth of the debt, stopping the growth of the deficit. If they're not talking about that, then they're not talking about fixing the problem. Right now, I just looked it up the other day. Right now, without changes, Social Security, Medicare go insolvent in 2033. That's 8 years. So, if you want to actually fix the problem, because all of the fear-mongering that they're going to do about, hey, grandma's going to be thrown out of, she's not going to get the care she needs, and they're going to steal from grandma and blah, blah, blah. Right. All of that stuff doesn't matter because it will be worse if the dollar becomes insolvent.
Right.
It'll be worse for them. It'll be worse for everybody in the country, first of all, and it'll be the most bad for the people that are most vulnerable. The poor people, the people that are old, they will suffer more from that, from the dollar becoming insolvent than from anything else.
And we see that. By the way, I'm not crying over the debt. Just having an allergy attack, ill-timed. But
she's crying over.
So you scratched your eye earlier.
If there's anything to cry over when it comes to government stuff, it's the debt.
It is.
No,
It is wrong.
I hope though. Like I know Elon and Vivek, like they talk a great game, but I don't know if anyone has it in them to really address the debt problem in the way that it has to be. But maybe so.
I can.
Maybe
I know how to do it. You got to fix the energy. You got to fix our fuel economy. Basically, right now we're heavily reliant on carbon. We're too
Graphene.
Graphene's cool.
Graphene's carbon.
Graphene is carbon. Graphene's
down with graphene.
That's what material we can create, but what's happened is we've become plastic.
Gravity.
Carbon, it's legit. Like oil and coal are super legit, but we're heavily reliant on it, too heavily reliant for our economy to thrive.
Geothermal.
So we need hydrogen fuel.
Nuclear.
And they figured out
Geothermal.
geo's legit, but it's not fuel. Nuclear's legit, but it's not fuel. Fuel is transportable, and hydrogen is transportable. So we can retrofit our methane pipes to transport hydrogen. And they figured out with this flash joule heating, where they electrify carbon and turn it into graphene. They give off hydrogen
I don't
as a
think
byproduct.
we're going to change a centuries-long oil infrastructure
But that's the actual, like, Elon and Vivek are great at slowing the bleed. They're slowing it down. But if we really want to push forward now that we've mitigated the detritus, we need a new fuel. It's hydrogen.
People are wondering what's up with Colonel Cross's eye. I sprayed her with the Trump perfume when she walked in, and she's having a reaction.
No, I told him I had I scratched my eye, and then I think I don't know if it's allergies or it's just kind of making
Dehydration. Do you want water?
I really am crying though. Over
I'll get you
that.
some water. Water helps.
I've got water here.
Listen, the debt is something
crying
worth
over
crying
debt.
over. The debt is something you should
I'm
cry
like-
That's terrifying.
I'm like the Indian in the pollution commercial.
So once we make fuel cheaper,
pollution commercial, like it was in favor of pollution.
now remember,
He's the guy throws the litter out the window, and then he looks, and then a tear comes down. I just love the notion there that it was like, for the average American, the Native Americans cared substantially more about the land than you. That was the message. Like, you're insulting these people. It's like, you've stolen everything from them. But now look what you're doing.
I just feel bad. Feel bad about what you've done.
Exit commercial.
I actually have a lot of hope and faith in the economy, because the other thing that's going to happen is the United States is going to adopt crypto as part of its like portfolio, and then the people without crypto are going to be destitute. But this is a potential future, and then there will be an income equality war or some sort of like civil
You think that's
conflict.
going to happen? Or you?
That's if we don't step on the gas literally and upgrade our fuel systems to integrate hydrogen. It's going to be a big economic split with the people that had crypto and the people that didn't, because the U.S. dollar's insolvent. It can't. We can increase the value of our GDP by enhancing our fuel economy, by making new fuel sources that are cheaper to make. That will increase our GDP, which then makes 36 trillion actually only 10 trillion. It still says 36 on paper, but everything's 3 times cheaper, so that 36 trillion can buy you $120 trillion worth of stuff.
Or we just drill more oil.
We should be doing that, because you can turn the oil into graphene. You can reuse this, even if you don't use it for fuel. The carbon in the oil, it's still super valuable. Plastics, all this transportable, and you can convert it into building materials. So yeah, we can really step it up. I think it all relies on the fuel, man.
I've heard they're making, and I don't know, I haven't done any kind of actual digging, but I've heard they've made some really significant advances in battery technology.
Oh yeah, solid-state batteries were a big deal a couple years ago. They figured out how to do that, and that means they can be very, very small and have tons of energy.
They figured out how to use nuclear waste in diamond batteries.
Oh yeah, there was this thing I read about how it's like a tiny piece of radioactive material or whatever, and it just powers it.
Yeah, I think it causes like a vibration in the lattice of the crystal of the diamond, and then it causes like this slow energy pulse, because it's constantly, I think it's might be piezoelectric, because it's constantly like.
They've been talking about that for a while, where you would your cell phone would charge as you walked from the vibrations.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about this before too, with that flashlight that you would whack off.
Oh yeah.
You ever see those? It has the magnet in the middle, and so you go like this, and it sends the magnet back and forth through the copper coil, and then it charges the battery.
You could get a really big one too if you wanted it, probably.
Or you could get 2 of them.
You could definitely get 2.
Like a good time.
Yeah, it'd be really, really fun.
And I guys, you know, the people who make the clips of the show are like, guys, we've already memed these. We've already turned them into GIFs. There's no point doing it again.
Everything's about you guys.
Dude, battery tech is super promising because I think there's like huge leaps constantly.
Well, because I mean, if you can like double or triple the current battery storage capability for batteries and stuff, then you really make nuclear it makes nuclear almost a no-brainer because nuclear is super efficient. The actual nuclear waste, people think of like green sludge, but it's actual metal rods that are encased in concrete and metal. And if I understand correctly, there's never been any kind of problem with the nuclear waste material. It's not liquid. It's not like the green sludge that made the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's easy to store and it's easy to transport. There was a big car accident when they were transporting it, and there was no damage to the vessel that the nuclear waste is carried in. And again, people think of liquid that's going to ooze everywhere. They're metal rods and they're encased in concrete and metal. So it's not like it isn't what people think it is. Nuclear's the way, man. Nuclear's the actual solution to our energy problems, especially if you get serious battery storage.
Is Elon a proponent of nuclear?
He's pro-nuclear, yeah. He thinks that solar is the be-all, end-all.
Solar.
Yeah, he says solar. He thinks that, if I understand correctly, he thinks that eventually we'll be able to get the efficiency of solar panels to like quadruple.
Who cares about solar panels? So you point some mirrors at a vat of water and it boils the water and spins a turbine.
Maybe.
And then we're done.
And the mirrors could be in orbit, and the vat could be on Earth. Like, the orbital solar is really a lot.
Well, it's just easier to have an array of mirrors. So there was a viral post where someone flew over Vegas, and they were like, yo, what is this? And there's 2 towers with mirrors pointed at them, and all it is a gigantic vat of, I think it's salt water.
Molten salt. It's just salt. It's just molten salt.
In the thing?
Yeah, and it melts
sunlight,
and it stays hot overnight. It boils water.
Right, and then it boils the water, and then the steam pressure, as it's exiting, is spinning a turbine.
Which those things are massively productive, energy-wise, but they're not transportable, but damn, they put out a lot of power.
We're going to go to Super Chats, so smash that like button, share the show with everyone you know, become a member over at timcast.com. But before we do, we got a sponsor. My friends, check out HomeTitleLock.com. You may have heard of this. It's a scam where they try and rip you off, and I was talking to Allison about it, and I was like, is this for real? And she was like, yeah. Actually, I think we've heard some stories of this had happened because people don't really check this stuff once the paperwork's filed. So we got something for you. Have you guys heard about? You guys have heard about this? We just mentioned it. The FBI is calling this house stealing. It's real. It's becoming more common. People don't even think about checking their title to their home or investment properties. And it's exactly what scammers are counting on. So in today's economy, you got to stay vigilant and protect what may be your most valuable financial asset. And this is legit. This is how generational wealth is transferred. It's your home. So here's how it works. A scammer will file a quitclaim deed using your information, forging your signature, stamping it with a phony notary seal, filing it with the county. And just like that, your property isn't legally yours anymore. They're not interested in your home. They're after the equity. They'll take out loans using your property as collateral, then disappear, leaving you to deal with the financial and legal fallout. So I think this is pretty serious. I think you guys should take it serious. So check out Home Title Lock. They monitor your title 24/7. They alert you to any changes on your title, and they work fast to restore your title with no out-of-pocket costs if fraud does occur. So don't wait until it's too late. You can get a free 30-day trial, free title history report when you use the promo code TIM at HomeTitleLock.com, or use the link in the description below. That's HomeTitleLock.com, promo code TIM for 30 days of protection and a title report for free. So appreciate the sponsorship, and let's jump over to your Super Chats, my friends. Uh-oh, YouTube just froze on me.
Oh, no.
It always does this. YouTube is just... Anyway, here we go. We got Schlip. He says, people should be more hesitant about throwing Luigi under the bus. The trial hasn't happened yet, and we don't know for sure. The potential of government railroading someone to look like they're doing something is impossible. Remember Damien Eccles. I was thinking, too, when he said, you're insulting the American intelligence and lived experience, like, what if he's saying, I didn't do it?
Yeah. That's Lee Harvey Oswald.
One
also
interpretation.
screamed
I mean, I don't really think that's the case, because he could have just screamed, it wasn't me.
Yeah, I'm a patsy.
I'm being set up. You know?
So Lee Harvey Oswald said, he was like, I'm a patsy.
But what does he mean by it's an insult to the American intelligence? Like, what is? What are you talking about?
Yeah. Maybe the healthcare system?
I guess.
You're right. Don't take it for granted the guy's innocent until he's proven guilty.
Okay, so J3TL4G says, the fact you think he's a leftist shows how out of touch you are. This show has become GOP slop, incapable of understanding nuance. You aren't tapped in. You, sir, are the exact thing you described. Because we went into great detail about what it means to be left and right the other day, taking a holistic view of these terms. Notably that the traditional left and right descriptions, which arose in the French Revolution, don't apply to American politics. It makes no sense to say that Dave Rubin and Tim Pool are far right. Like, what does that really even mean? But they've been calling Joe Rogan far right, and the dude supports universal basic income, which doesn't really make sense unless you realize that right and left are references to political tribes. So when we are speaking in terms of what matters to the American people, leftist refers to coded language and circles around particular ideologies and worldviews, and right does similarly in the direction. For someone to say lived experience, we call that coding. That means it's words only recognizable, or phrases typically recognizable to leftists. Hence, you go to a regular person and ask them about their lived experience, they're going to say, what is that? But if you go to a leftist who's in the cult, they're going to be like, of course I can tell you about my lived experience. It's a specific thing referencing them. You, sir. You, sir, need to watch the show, perhaps, and you would be educated. But thank you for the super chat. I do appreciate it. All right.
Do you think maybe, let me just say, maybe there's some trace of a legit critique in what maybe he's trying to say, which is that do you think maybe he could say that we're shrugging off the concerns of most Americans about the healthcare system?
Yeah,
I think the issue is, I refer to this as a scaling problem. The way I describe it, if you have 100 if Apple gives out 100 promotional phones to 100 people, and 1% break, what happens? One guy goes on X and says, my phone's broken. And they go, sucks for you, I guess. What if they give out 100 million phones and 1%, the same margin of failure? Now you have 1 million people on X screaming, my phone is broken. And they're like, what is happening? So what we likely see with instances like insurance is you're only ever going to hear about the instances where the insurance companies screw people over. And they do, don't get me wrong. But how many people go, oh, I can't believe today I went to the doctor, and you're not going to believe this. My insurance covered everything, even things I didn't think they probably would cover. They covered it. You know, I called them, made sure everything was okay. They were very nice and polite. What a great company. Never happens. Because literally everyone in the country has to have health insurance, you will get 330 million people, and the margin, so in the scaling problem, the larger a system, the lower tolerance there is for failure. And that's what we're looking at with all major systems in this country. So I think, you know, if you had 100 customers of a health insurance provider and 10% got into an argument, no one would care. Like, I swear, you have 100 people and 10% failure rate. The other 90 are going to be like, we should probably, I hope you guys get that sorted. It seems like something must have been a hiccup. That's the extent to which they'll, must be a hiccup. But if 10% of the country overnight couldn't get access to health care, it would be the apocalypse. People would be losing their minds. And that's big. Right. And so, yes, I understand pre-existing conditions should and must be covered. Sorry, insurance companies. But there's a big problem there in how we handle this, because we don't want government overreach, right? But then the insurance companies would never cover someone who's got a pre-existing condition. That person just goes without health care, we got problems. You have to figure it out. Maybe we don't do insurance. Maybe it's pay as you go. I don't know. All right, what have we got? Britt Griffith, Mower Racing, says, getting ready for 2025 lawnmower racing season. Are you interested in re-wrapping the mower with the updated design? The current wrap was a success for the 2024 season. I had great conversation with lots of people. Let's follow up on that. We are, of course, sponsoring Cody Dennison in this next year, and he's got flames on the front now. And they said it was rooster wings, but sure. There's wings on the side and flames in the front.
Phoenix wings.
They're
wings
chicken
of the
wings.
Phoenix.
And I'm very excited to announce that my new skateboard graphic will be coming out in a couple of weeks. And this is the 28th Amendment.
Have you showed that one yet?
I don't know if I've displayed it, but for those that don't know, the 28th Amendment, which I believe must be ratified, says chickens, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep, bear, and breed chickens shall not be infringed. And you laughing. But I think Arizona just passed a law where they said cities can no longer ban chickens.
Ooh, what about roosters?
I think, yeah, like basically you can have roosters and chickens, fight about it.